So what is my initial thoughts about the Inmotion V12 high torque against the Inmotion V12 high speeds? You guys asked this question, so I'm answering it. And also, is it possible that I had some cutoffs on this one? And did I had that bad experience that Wrongway had with his Inmotion V12 high torque? If you want to know everything about it, stay tuned until the end of the video. Hi everyone, Marcus here from MADpack, and if you love ECs, PVs and everything that have a E of electricity, this is the place for you. And today we are going to talk about my initial thoughts about the Inmotion V12 high torque. And yes, they are just initial thoughts and without B-rolls like you are used to see on the channel, because I had a flat tire on my second day riding with the Inmotion V12 high torque. Yeah, it's not going to be as fancy as you are used to, but many of you guys was asking, please let us know what you thought about this wheel, and is it possible that you had the bad experience that Wrongway had with this one. I received the wheel and obviously straight away I just wanted to ride it, and I use it to go to work, come back home. The riding experience is quite different. One of the big reasons why the Inmotion V12 is one of my favorite wheels is definitely the riding experience that I was having and I continue to have with my Inmotion V12. But since you have a different rim, and I can't really say if I feel that the rim is larger or not, but I feel that the rim is slightly larger on this one, and obviously the tire have a different profile. The profile on the V12 high speed, the tire is a little bit more like in V shape, and the Inmotion V12 high torque will come in two different tires. I didn't really understood that, so it seems that sometimes you can receive this tire or sometimes you can receive the same tire that other YouTubers are receiving, so I'm not really sure which ones you are going to get it. But this one, it's more round than the other profile, so I believe that this one is a little bit more nimble. But anyway, it's not as nimble as when you are riding with the V12 high speed. This tire I simply hate it in a certain way, and I simply love it. When I'm saying this is, this tire allows me to be super aggressive in traffic. So I can say to you guys that really recently I had a car that almost crashed against me. And if I was with the V12 high torque, and funny enough, it was the day that I had the flat tire and I had to stop here, I think I'll have crashed again that car, because it was not looking around and it just turned very aggressively on top of me. So I just had the time to push myself out to not be hit by that car. That experience that you have when you are riding with the V12 high speed, you will not have in here, at least with this tire. It continued to be very nimble, but is a completely different experience. Another thing that I noticed that is different and I prefer on the V12 high speed, it's the handle. So this handle, it's a little bit more jerky. You can see it doesn't stay exactly in the same place, and here you see have less movement. So I definitely prefer the handle, the old version of the V12 high speeds, than the handle that you have on the V12 high torque. I believe they've done that and they change around because it's easier now to reach the screws. They are on the top, and on the first generation of the V12 the screws are on the bottom. So if you have a long Allen key, it's easy that you can damage the screws and will not be able to remove the handle. So I think that's the main reason why they've done that. In here I have already received the pads, but I'm just basically hiding them from you guys. If you follow me on Instagram, you had the possibility to check them in first hand. So if you want to know a little bit more what I'm doing, or if I receive a product that I'm going to bring to the channel, definitely follow me there. But we'll talk about that really soon. But the sensation that I had when I'm riding with the Inmotion V12 high torque is that if you are searching for a wheel that is very comfortable, and comfort is really important for you, this wheel rides completely different from this one. So you are going to have exactly with the same settings, because obviously I'm used to the V12 and I wanted that the experience was exactly the same. It's completely different, because when you are on the V12 high torque, and I have to say it's the first one high torque that I enjoyed to ride, it was a bit weird in the beginning, because when you accelerate hard, yes, definitely you feel more power here than on the V12 high speed, but you feel that the pedals, they go a little bit in front and they stay there. So it's not that when you are curving, you are going to feel that you have pedal dipping. No, when you are just accelerating hard, you feel that they drop slightly and they give you that extra comfort, if it makes sense, because you don't have your feet making pressure on the front and it's just a hard piece of metal on beneath your feet. So when I was just jumping from the high speed to the high torque, definitely I felt more comfort riding with this one. And after that you get used to that small sensation that the pedals dip slightly. It was an amazing ride. But like I said, it's not as nimble as when you are riding with the V12 high speed, at least my V12 high speed. I really liked the tire. In a certain way, it's going to give you less wobbles, even if I think that if you have wobbles with the V12 is because you don't have the right equipment. And I will do a video about that really soon, because you guys want to know how to deal with wobbles and remove them completely from your life. So really soon we'll talk about that in a video. This wheel will give you extra reassurance that you will not have any wobbles, and obviously with this tire it's going to grab everything. It was almost like when you are just accelerating and curving, it's almost that you are always feeling that you are in this position, almost like that publicity from 2019 from McDonald's. But it's that sensation, you feel that your body is more in front, the wheel is on your back, and is really grabbing the floor. Okay, you have comfort, you have more stability and more reassurance that you are not going to lose the ground. But I like that sensation of agility that you had with the V12, that as it is, you are losing it. And I have to say that definitely this rim feels a little bit thinner than this one. Also, one thing to just point it out, I never really felt that I was going to damage it, but it depends on your weight, it depends how you ride, where you ride, so have just that in consideration. When we talk about also the handle, the shape is different. So this one is a little bit more round and this one is a little bit more pointy, and maybe it's because I'm used to, but I like more this sensation. And they have put like a bit of rubber here on the bottom. It feels weird on my hand. Definitely the handle I prefer much more in here than in here. I would like also to point it out few things that makes the V12 at this moment my favorite wheel. Whatever is the option that you choose, it's a very compact wheel. It's a very aggressive wheel. It's a city wheel, and obviously I ride in the city. I ride in the middle of the car, so I need to be fast. I need to be. It needs to be easy to just go around small obstacles, and this wheel delivers that to you. Even without suspension, it almost feels that you have a bit of suspension, if it makes sense. It's a bit weird what I'm saying, but the wheel is so well balanced, whatever is the option that you have, that it makes a lot of sense even in 2022, even with all these wheels with suspension. And remember, if you have a suspension, you have more parts moving around that will give you problems, like we talk about the Kingsong S22 or S20 as you want. It's a very well built wheel. And when we talk about what happens with wrong way, I have to say that I don't feel that is a V12 high torque problem. I don't have that issue. So for what I understood, wrong way, after the first 20% of the battery, the wheel starts reacting in a different way, starts pushing him back. Like I said, the riding experience is different, but I never felt that this wheel was pushing me back. Like I said, just when I'm accelerating, it's just pushing me in front slightly. I find that even when you are braking, with the same settings, obviously depending on your settings the sensation can be completely different, but in here when I'm braking, and like I said, I'm trying to make that the pedals, they takes a little bit longer to readjust. This wheel, I have the back a little bit higher than when I'm trying to brake with the high torque with exactly the same settings. So it's a different ride, and obviously I just ride it for one day. I can't really explain exactly the difference because I didn't spend the time that I'm used to do in this channel. So I'm just doing this video because you guys asked. But this wheel, the V12, whatever is the configuration, have things that it's hard for me to go back to another wheel. And these two features that becomes almost essential for me. And one of them is that sound. It's essential. When you go on the road, you need just to pass through people. It's much easier to be noticeable when you are riding these wheels. And I don't want to have that extra step to connect my phone to the wheel, and I'm using the battery of my phone and I need to connect to the app to be able to have AVAs, I think is like that, the system that you can have. I don't want those steps. I definitely don't want those steps. And obviously having there a way to have sound directly from the wheel it's simply amazing. The screen is cool, but there is one feature on the screen that I would like to see bigger if it was possible, but it's really helpful when I'm riding, and it's called the clock. Yes. So many times you are using motorbike jackets, whatever, and it's on top of your watch, and it's much easier for me just to look down and see the time. The screen, it's in sunny days like today, is not really bright, but I just put my hand on the top and I can see how many minutes I have to reach the train station to come home. So definitely that is a feature that also when I go back in another wheel, it's weird for me because I need to do that extra step. If I don't have my watch, I need to check my phone, turn on the screen, look it, put it back, close my jacket. So that is those few things that sometimes bother me when I go back to another wheel, and I simply love it here. But when we talk about the flat tire, how it happens, was it dangerous or not, and in 4 years is my first flat tire, and I thought it was going to be very scary, but I have to say to you guys that no, I straight away I just felt that the wheel just went a little bit lower. And when we talk about lower, I will talk about that in a second, is also something different between these two wheels. When I get that flat tire, I just felt that I was slightly closer to the floor and it was harder for me to curve. So straight away I understood that something was wrong. I stopped it and I noticed that I had a flat tire. No, it was not dangerous. Obviously I was not going really fast because I had a flat tire very close to home. The fun on the V12 high torque was stopped in that specific day. Now I need to disassemble everything, but before we talk about that, I want just to point it out another thing that I found, at least with this tire. With this tire, I felt that I'm just slightly too high compared to my V12 high speeds. And if you are asking yourself in which configuration is these pedals, they are both in the highest position. And also something else that people is been saying, that the material is different. Touching them, they look like the same, it just this part feels a little bit more shiny. So not sure if it's really different. I didn't have any problems with the pedals, but also I didn't have the possibility to ride too much time with this wheel. But I believe if you want to have more or less the same sensation that you have with the V12, at least when we're talking how far away you are from the floor, I think you need to drop at least to the middle position. And I felt that was like, if you want to curve at least as it is now, you need to put more pressure on the wheel to do something. And that was something that I was not expecting, and in a negative way. I really like it how easy it is to do anything on the V12 high speed, but I was having fun in a different way. I have to say that I really wanted a bit more speed, and when we talk about speed also, I noticed something else, that obviously they are still adjusting stuff. On the app you can obviously put your alarms between 50 to 60, something like that, and if you go on the screen you can put between 60 to 70. Definitely there is a mistake in there, because this wheel goes up to 37.5 kilometers per hour, so around 60 kilometers. So definitely be sure, if in the moment that you receive this wheel that bug is still there, don't forget to put your last alarm at 60 kilometers per hour, just to avoid that you just go above that and you will crash. Just have that in mind. This wheel, I will ride it always around 55 kilometers per hour is where I put my first alarm, and obviously I'll push a little bit more up to 58, and that is something that I'll like in future Inmotion wheels, that they can go even higher, so the envelope can go even higher, so we are safer. That's the only thing that I feel that is missing on the V12. It's literally the speed. I like that initial torque on the beginning with the V12 high torque, that yes, I felt the difference, but for the riding style that I had, I didn't feel that it was so big. And when I had to come back exactly in the same day, because I had the flat tire here and I jumped here, I felt yes, it was missing that initial power. But after, I will say 100, 200 meters, I completely forgot. So if you are around 70 kilos like me, believe that you really need to go to the high torque. But like I said, this is just my initial thoughts, because you guys asked me, because there is not a lot of videos about the V12, and I'm really sorry if I don't have any B-rolls. I hope that this is relevant for you. My name is Marco, this is MADpack. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment below, smash the thumbs up, do whatever you want, but always with a smile on your face. And I hope to see you in the next one.